What is up, everybody? Sean the D Man here, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are. You have yourselves a great weekend. I'm recording this just after Auburn lost to Alabama, 27-20, in really a heartbreaking fashion for sure. Um, it definitely sucks for sure. It does suck. It does suck because you had opportunities. You had opportunities to um, win the game. Not well, I guess not. Maybe not win. I don't know. Maybe not win the game, but you had opportunities to. Well, no, you probably could have. You probably could have won the game. There's just there's just so much that happened in this game. Just so many mistakes on Auburn's side of things. Too many mistakes that cost him the game. Um, Offensively, I mean, offensively, other than the first quarter where the offense wasn't really doing much, I don't really put that on Ashton Daniels because again, he had not played for like at least 3 weeks up to this point because he played in the Vandy game, then Auburn had their bye, then he played Mercer, um, and so he had not played for a good couple of weeks, so he was probably maybe a little rusty in regards to that. But I thought he came on late, did a really good job. I would definitely say the supporting cast around did not help whatsoever. Like so many drop. This felt like this is one of those games that felt like kind of maybe like the Georgia game from 2 years ago when we first had Peyton Thorne, and one of the issues was it was just in that game was just drops. You had an opportunity to beat Georgia. It's just if people were catching the ball, it kind of felt like that in this situation. Eric Singleton had some drops. Preston Howard, like somebody who has not made catches all season long, he made a good catch towards the end of the game, but just there were just so many drops that played Auburn. It threw everything off. Cam never really got going until I guess if you want to maybe say the end. He had the crucial fumble. It, it just a bad just the IQ of not going out of bounds potentially. Um, and you could tell he was really. You could tell it hurt him. Like it was rough. It was rough. You needed to turn. I think I said on Thursday. No, maybe it was on Friday when I did the preview talk about this game. I said Auburn needs to get at least three turnovers, and you don't turn the ball over at all. Well, Auburn had opportunities to get turnovers, but it didn't happen. But you turned the ball over twice. You got an interception on a pat. Like one of the turnovers was a pass. Mapson couldn't catch it. It gets batted up into the air or batted up into the air, and it gets intercepted. Um, it just it just so many crucial mistakes in the first quarter. You got Chaplin getting absolutely blown by the Alabama defender. Um, so it was just defensively, you were not playing great in the first probably quarter and a half of the game, but you started to settle in, and Alabama was pretty much inept for the majority on, with the exception of they got a touchdown off the interception. Um, I'm trying to think what I'm talking about, like not the first quarter, like when they got their points. I'm trying to think of like um I'm trying to think of their other points, but they had a defense couldn't get off the field at the end because they were on the field for an 8 minute drive. Now Alabama was helped by officiating in that game because Auburn gets called for a pass interference, not passing, but it gets called for roughing the passer when an Auburn defender is basically like falling, getting pushed down and falling over and just accidentally rolls into him. He gets called for a pass interference. Like here's the thing, I would not be surprised if, because obviously you can say whether it's, I'm not saying the game was rigged, but like clearly they know they wanted Alabama to win. Clearly they know they did. But needless to say, Auburn had opportunities to win the game. Um, and it sucks. It sucks because I mean you pretty much was the better team maybe in the second half. Um, I mean you had 20 first downs to their 18. You had over you had 411 yards compared to their 280. You threw the ball more. They had 158 rushing. That was also something too that was annoying, was that this Alabama has not been able to consistently run the ball all season, but they somehow are able to run the ball. I think it was Jam Miller. He had at least maybe like 80, 90 yards before he left the game with an injury. He may have been over 100. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was like 80, 90 yards. But they run the ball relatively well. I mean, Ty Simpson, he ran the ball some too. Um, but uh, 10 penalties for 84 yards. I mean, they both were pretty bad when it comes to penalties, but it felt like the penalties affected Auburn more than it affected Alabama. And then you had the two turnovers. You lost the time of possession by almost 10 minutes. So that doesn't help because specifically they had the 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, and then in the first quarter and a half, the offense wasn't really doing much, and so they had the ball extra amount of time. But it's just, yeah, like it sucks. You had an opportunity to get like go to a bowl game and everything like that after a miserable season, and it was a good Iron Bowl. Like I think a lot of people felt like this was going to be one of those type of Iron Bowls where like it's just going to be a crazy game. I mean, for the most part, it was a good game. It's just very frustrating that Auburn did not, come away with the win. And they had a chance to go down and tie it up. And like if the interception doesn't happen, Auburn maybe gets a touchdown or even gets a field goal in that position. That takes a touchdown away from Alabama. Cam Coleman, doesn't fumble the ball, and that was such a weird thing too. Maybe it was like toward the end of the third quarter, maybe the beginning of the fourth quarter, where Auburn like two, three, four plays in a row fumbled the ball, and they were fortunate that they were able to get it. Even at the end, when Malcolm Simmons, he doesn't catch the ball, or he catches it, but then like um he loses it. It just bounces out of bounds. So I mean it's I mean you could say Cam Coleman wasn't really effective in this game. I think he was probably limited. Eric Singleton, I probably expected a little bit more out of him in this game. He had some drops. Um, it was just disappointing. Like we saw Justin Jones, but we didn't see like Darrell Robinson. They may just be holding him out because like they want to redshirt him or something like that for next year. I don't know, but it was just very disappointing because both quarterbacks were about the same. Ty Simpson was 19 of 35, and Daniels was 18 of 39. Um, Daniels had over 100 yards rushing compared to, yeah, Jam Miller had 83. Um, I'm very curious on the Ryan Williams thing because Ryan Williams, I know he got in the game, but he didn't catch a pass. I'm so curious on why that is, on why they did not involve him. Because really, the only issue that you had in this game was Isaiah Horton. He was pretty much the main issue that you had in the game. So it sucks. It sucks. You had over 400 yards of offense on this Alabama defense, and I mean people are going to be like, "Oh, Alabama should be not," because Alabama play Georgia next week in the SEC championship game. But like, it's just uh, it just sucks. It does. It really sucks. It is a another heartbreaking loss because you needed the defense in the fourth quarter to make a play, and nobody really made a play. And so it is what it is. Season's over. Uh, End of a terrible season that Auburn fans have endured. Now we wait for the coaching search, the whole coaching search and everything, because that has been its own theater. The past couple of, like, I guess maybe like past 24, 48 hours. Either by the time you're watching this on Sunday, I don't know. Either Auburn will have announced a brand new coach, or it'll probably come Monday. But the decision's got it has to come because Cohen said he wants to make an announcement on who the head coach is after the Iron Bowl. So it's either going to come on Sunday or it's going to come on Monday. If it goes past Monday, then I don't know because early signing day is Wednesday. So, but yeah, I mean that's relatively it. It sucks. It sucks. You had a chance to win, or yeah, I guess tied up at the end, chance to win potentially. Who knows if you get it, if you could get it to overtime or something. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen now. Very curious. So now we just wait and we see what happens. But guys, thank you again for hanging out. Thank you again for watching. If you're new to the channel, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Comment below. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.